Hello, this is Roger Miller. Again, this is another one of my videos, completely unedited, in case you haven't noticed yet. The idea is just to kind of go over some of the ideas that I have. I was going through some of my old stack of papers and stuff, and I came across this. And I believe this is something that I sent to NASA back in the, around 2013, it looks like from this. But anyways, just real quick, kind of goes over the ideas that I was working on at the time and kind of going through the explanation. So I thought I'd do a quick run through that real quickly, just for documentation purposes here. So this is kind of, like the initial idea. It talks about how, the fan, is wobbling, that originally had the idea. I was really sick, coming in and out of consciousness, and came up with this idea. So anyways, it kind of started there, and then kind of I was actually working with Professor Woodward, Caltech Fullerton, or one of those universities over there, and I actually was working with him at the time. And at one point, he actually retired, and that's when I stopped reaching him. It sounds like he was still working on his ideas, but he had something a little bit different. But I was working with him trying to develop, and came up with this idea about a person standing on a skateboard, and if he pushes the a weight that's hanging from a string, away from, there's the equal and opposite reaction, and he'd move the person on the skateboard would move in the opposite direction, depending on the mass of the object and the speed is going away. And the more mass, the more that the person would same speed, but there's more mass, it would actually move the individual faster. Anyways, that was the idea behind that. This was another one of the things. This is the equation right there that I've been talking about quite a bit about. Anyways, talks about the basically momentum, and I kind of used the I don't know if I have it in here, but I was using the term relative mass, and I know a lot of people that my degree's in computer science, it isn't in physics, so I use a lot of terms that the way that I understood things may not be the right words, but it's just to get the idea across. And the idea is that, and this guy right here is this would actually spin around, and you'd have this little weight on it that you would actually cause it to vibrate on one side and not the other. And by that vibration would actually mean that it would be traveling at different speeds. Talked a little bit about that in some of my other videos, but just kind of going through the details on that. This is going to be kind of big, and I don't want to make this a half-hour video. So the whole concept here is like, from moving from A to B would be this distance, and so going from C to D would be this distance. And if this is spinning together, and the mass is actually going here, then vibrating, going around and then vibrating, this actual vibration would actually be a longer distance, and thus would be the higher speed. And the more speed means the more relative mass. Again, I'm using that term. I know it's potential momentum or something like that is the correct term. It's been a while, but anyways, the concept is that if you can cause something to vibrate on one side as opposed to on the other, it will actually have more relative mass, and by trying to spin it through that, it'll actually create more resistance and actually create a motion or a force on the apparatus. And if you can control it, you can actually create motion without basically pushing off anything on the side. You're using the relative mass to create the motion as opposed to the propellant. So the whole concept of propellentless propulsion comes in here. So next page here, just real quick, concerns, just the concern is like when you're doing something like this, obviously a lot of people are going to see this as a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, which is a big no-no. Basically, you can't have a perpetual motion machine, and that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm actually talking about taking energy and converting it into movement. Okay, and then we go to this one. some of the designs that I've showed you in some of the other videos. I did kind of show you this thing, and I think on the next page, and some of the math around it. Obviously, you need to have significant speeds to get really big pushes, but anyways, we'll get into some of that later on. One of the early ideas that I was working with is actually causing it, actually forcing it to actually move faster. This was actually one of my earlier ideas, and very mechanical, very hard on the system. When I built some of my first ones of actually doing this, the thing would quickly rip itself apart. So as a actual solution, not sure that would actually be a good idea, but the concept is there. And this one's varying temperature. I don't remember exactly what was going on in this. I remember. If you could control something to be cold on one, as it moves in one direction, and then moving it back the other way, actually heat it up, cause the molecules to be moving faster. That energy should be translated into relative mass, and so you'd be able to, by heating and cooling something, actually change the mass of the mass of an object. E equals mc squared. I'm not sure if that's in here somewhere, but that's the concept behind it. And here's one of the ones that I was talking about in one of my other videos, where actually the details on how this would happen, where I actually having a weight on one side and actually have the gear go around and then fix here in the middle. And as you can see here, this the movement from here to here is a lot different than the movement from here to there. And again, kind of talking about the vibration, is even though it's going around, the actual mass is actually traveling faster, and thus it would create more relative mass. So that's the concept behind this, and that's kind of where I've been spending most of my time going through this. But here's the winner chicken dinner kind of thing. So the I had another idea that I actually used to I'm trying to get someone to build me a neon gas light. And actually I got right here, you can actually see kind of this, where this would actually be neon gas, and the idea is to actually accelerate it, the neon molecules through here, atoms, accelerate them through here. They'll get in this area, they'll slow down. It doesn't need to be, but once it gets over, be pulled in here, the speed would be here. So it'd be one of those things where it's traveling faster in this direction, and then taking a while, because there's a lot more air, there's more volume to carry all that gas until it comes back around and gets accelerated again. So as you're pushing things this way, it'd be an equal and opposite reaction going that way. Whereas as it slows down and then just kind of goes at a slower speed, it's going to have less relative mass. The relative mass is going to be a lot higher right there. So anyways, that's the concept behind this right here, talking about some of the numbers, yada, yada, yada. And then it's kind of the same thing with, forces, having the tube where it's kind of going around this way and being able to speed it up. So that's this concept here. I just wanted to share that with everybody. I'm going to go ahead and go through a couple more videos here as I'm coming across things, but and then I'm hopefully the resolution of this is good enough that you can actually stop the frames at any time and actually read some of these. Again, my degree is in computer science, not physics, but I got this book a long time. This is probably, I think I've got 3 or 4 different copies of this book that I've bought over the years. This is the one where actually Einstein explains his thoughts about odds. He actually taken it right from Einstein, so it's really helped me in the early stages. And at one point, I even got a text version of this, and I was able to actually do a text to speech. And this is back in the 1990s that I was able to listen to that. And so I would listen to this book over and over and over again, try to pick up all the nuances that Einstein would be trying to communicate. And it's a lot of good stuff in this book. If you get a chance to read it, I definitely suggest it. All right, so that's for today. All I'm going to do. If you have any, actually, what I'm going to do is as I get more ideas about these, I come across other ideas, I'll go ahead and get those posted or videos made. Thank you very much.